Hello, everyone. What's going on? My name is Timpedia, and welcome back to the TNT Podcast, episode 35. I'm pretty sure.
We didn't give the number last week. We're already thrown off.
I'm pretty sure it's 35. Because I'm pretty sure we did 33 and then missed 34. Anyway, as always, I am Tim, your host, and on my left we have
Friedman, also known as Andrew, but mostly known as Friedman.
And on my right,
just Tyler.
And we're here to hopefully bring you only a little bit of news. There really isn't much news. We have so little this week, but somehow
we say this will happen every week, but it should go fast this time.
And then we're going to start a multi-week topic, which I think will be a lot of fun and very controversial, mostly because I cheated as soon as I came up with the idea. So,
listeners, your Timpedia cheated.
No.
You cheated.
I made the rules.
Ruining the legitimacy.
You can't.
Yeah, screw the rules. I have green hair.
Screw the rules. I make the rules.
Oh my damn.
All right. So we're gonna put Tyler. We're gonna calm Tyler down real quick because we really got to talk about Magic news this week.
Going to sleep.
It was a pretty big deal. We talked about last week how the Modern Pro Tour Rivals of Ixalan had happened, and it had been really exciting. And Lantern Control won, and then Mardu Pyromancer was in the finals, I believe, right? That was
the meta was pretty diverse this tournament alone.
So right after that, a week later, it's banned and restricted announcement yesterday, and everyone's like, "What's gonna happen? Is Lantern gonna get banned already?"
Your predictions.
But then, lo and behold, during the live stream for Pro Tour Rivals of Ixalan, they show packaging for the next modern the Masters 25 set, and there's Jace the Mind Sculptor in a big picture right on the fucking box.
So hold on. Before we explain the things, I thought, I'm like, whatever. He's in the set again. They did the same shit with Eternal Masters. They're literally just printing mythics that people will buy because no one wants to play Tarmogoyf anymore.
And then yesterday rolls around.
And yesterday happens.
And on Wizards' website at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, banned and restricted announcement. Bloodbraid Elf is unbanned in Modern. Jace the Mind Sculptor is unbanned in Modern. 10 minutes later, there's a Reddit post about how Jace is sold out everywhere and $150
every single Jace was sold.
Like, it's fucking...
God damn.
So, Tyler, you've seen me play Jace in, like, Commander and stuff. Leslie hates the fucking card.
I don't think he's seen you play Jace the Mind Sculptor, though.
I feel like I played it in my Commander deck.
I have never seen you play it, but I know what that card does.
Okay, he is the most powerful Planeswalker ever printed, no question. Even when he was banned in... Actually, he's so good. He has been on the Modern ban list since Modern was created. That's how afraid of him they were.
It's honestly because he had to get banned in Standard. He was the best card they printed in a whole two-set block.
He was banned in Standard back when he came out, before Modern was a thing, and then they created Modern just after, like, right at the tail end of that Standard, and as soon as they created it, they're like, here's our ban list. Jace's already on.
In his defense, like, a lot of the things on that original ban list have come off.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure.
It's not surprising, especially given the power creep of the format, but honestly, people weren't sure that Jace would ever come off, because he is... I mean, since I play against Lily so much, I argue that Liliana's the strongest Planeswalker, even though she's not banned in Modern.
She's not
She's
not as universally good.
No, she requires a very specific deck type.
Well, also, okay, we can argue about Lily on the next Magic podcast. But, Tyler, this card... permanently banned in Modern.
Well, not so permanently.
Well, it was. Banned, not banned in Legacy or Vintage, the super old formats, and not banned in Commander. Even without being in Modern, the biggest non-standard format in existence. Legacy is Fringe-ish, like the most mainstream of the Fringe ones, and Vintage doesn't get played by real people. They're like
because
robots.
There aren't enough millionaires on this
There aren't enough
planet
trillionaires. Yeah. Oh my god, the guy who I watch Vintage content from, he posted on Twitter that he had traded in his white bordered Power 9 for a black bordered damaged Power Black Lotus. He literally tweeted the picture of the Black Lotus he was holding. Anyway,
First world.
Oh yeah, for sure.
First world problems.
But anyway, Tyler, so I know I'm building this up. This is not even a big deal, but most Planeswalkers that are even played usually go for about 20. Lily is maybe like 40, 50 right now, Freeman? I don't know. But she's not banned in Modern.
She's between 50 and 70.
Okay,
right
but
now.
she seems extremely frequent play in Modern. She's by far the biggest planeswalker in Modern.
If you play Black, people at least have her in the sideboard. She's just very good.
Jace, who has never been in Modern, has always cost at least $70.
I think at his lowest he hit 50 after his last reprint.
Which immediately jumped back up because people were buying him for Legacy, Vintage, and Commander.
Damn.
And then he now sold out at 150. Like, the insane price of this one card.
So here's the thing. Aaron Forsyth once said something along the lines of, if they banned Jace, it would definitely be accompanied with a reprint because they...
You mean unbanned?
What did I say, banned?
Yeah,
sorry, if he's unbanned, it would have to be accompanied with a reprint because they've admitted before. Jace is already stupid expensive because of how in-demand he is in every format. And back in 2009, when Zendikar was printed, the player base was nowhere near as big as it is now.
He was printed in a small set back when the player base was smaller and has only been reprinted twice. Once in one of the... You know those From the Vault sets, Tyler? They're like the special boxed, ugly, or foiled, but bendy. And
that's where I have my foil copy from.
He came out in one copy of that like 4 years ago. That also, back when... Those are not printed that heavily.
What was that, Magic 20 or something? So 5 years ago?
From the Vault 20, which is currently, I think, the most or second most expensive out-of-the-box one because of how rare it is.
Good cards.
Except for Dragons. And then he was reprinted in what? Eternal? Or Iconic?
It was Eternal Masters.
Eternal Masters, which, being a Masters set before they started getting sent to Walmart, which they now are, they are not huge print runs. So he's never had a big chunk taken out of him. And now that he's unbanned...
just getting printed in Masters 25.
So yeah, hopefully...
Which for some reason, people are rumoring that it's not a limited print run set.
It's in Walmart. Just like Iconic was, so it should tank prices really fucking hard. But it needs to.
Good.
Well, it's also going to kill prices across the board because everybody is going to open these looking for Jace. Everybody wants Jace.
Jace needs to hit $70 or this is going to be fucking outrageous. We're finally at the point where Goyf is at that level, and people are finally starting to buy him.
Only because Goyf is out of the format.
Yeah, now it's just price memory.
How pathetic is it that Goyf is in the same place where he's no longer really played in the format?
For the record, when I jumped in 2014, he was almost a $200 card.
Goyf or Jace?
Goyf.
So, Tyler, Tarmogoyf. So, actually, this kind of relates into the other card that was unbanned, Bloodbraid Elf, which is a much less crazy card, but is also very good. For 4 mana, it's a 3/2 with haste and Cascade. Cascade is where you reveal cards from the top of your library until you find a card that costs less than what you cast and cast it for free. This card was unbanned and got banned because it made Jund, which is green, black, red, the absolute probably best deck in the format at the time because it just had playing a 3/2 creature with haste that also brought along what has become an increasingly powerful array of spells in those colors.
Either it caused your opponent to discard, it brought out Liliana the Planeswalker, brought out Tarmogoyf, which at that point was a 4/5 to a 7/8. It brought out big shit for absolutely free. Plus, he himself was a 3 damage haster.
Yeah.
It was just too much for that deck at the time, especially when they had what's that card? Deathrite Shaman.
Yes. Oh, thank God that was banned.
Yeah, so those two got banned at the same time. A lot of people blamed Deathrite Shaman for it, which, I was kind of in that party. But Bloodbraid is back.
Yeah, mostly because Jund is like a tier 3 deck now.
Yeah, Jund, it doesn't have the right kind of interactions right now. We'll see how that plays out. I'm honestly excited because one deck I always want to play was Naya Zoo, and having a Cascade creature that can hit something like Tarmogoyf is really cool, and I'm not sure if it would actually work in this format, but that is a fun card to brew with, and I'm really excited to see it back.
So Tyler, just for context, this Tarmogoyf card we keep talking about, it is like Jace in that it's one of the most expensive. It was, for a very long time, one of the most expensive cards in the format because it's a green and 1. Its power and toughness is X and X plus 1 for toughness, where X is the number of types of cards in a graveyard. In both graveyards. The reason
Land, instant, sorcery, artifact, creature, planeswalker, tribal. So 7?
The reason that's busted is because in the right deck, by turn 3, when it can attack, you could theoretically have 4 or 5 cards in a graveyard. So on turn 3, you have a 5/6, which is insanely overvalued for 2 mana.
Especially in a 1v1 situation.
Yeah, I'll say that sounds busted.
Yeah,
it kind of is.
You crack a fetch land, you cast a sorcery that makes your opponent discard like an instant or a creature. That's already 3. You cast it on turn 3, and then maybe you cast an instant, or you sack another creature or something, or your opponent has a creature die or plays a creature that you kill. Usually it's like a 4/5 or a 5/6 even by that turn. It's insane.
And you got 4 of those hidden somewhere in your deck.
Yeah. Jeez. So think about Bloodbraid. So for 4 mana, you get a 3/2 haste and Tarmogoyf. The value is crazy.
Or just anything.
Or Kolaghan's Command is the big one.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's hard.
So it's gonna be really interesting. A lot of people actually didn't really want Modern to get unbannings because of how good it was at the Pro Tour. But
this decision was very clearly made a while ago. They knew they were going to unban something. They knew this when Jace was the face card of Masters 25.
Yeah.
The results of this tournament had nothing to do with the unbannings, but I guarantee you it would have had to do with like emergency bannings. If suddenly humans showed up and they were like 80% of the metagame, then you may have seen some kind of a ban, but the unban was definitely planned for a while.
And but I think it's reasonable because the thing is, as time has gone on, more and more value spells at 1, 2, and 3 mana have been printed. And these are both 4 mana cards. Like, 4 mana is almost unplayed in Modern at this point, except outside of like Tron or Eldrazi. Like, there's almost no deck that goes that high.
Yeah.
Or if it goes that high, it's like fake high, like a Delve creature, like Gurmag or Tasigur. Dude, a fucking common is played in like every format. It's crazy. Anyway.
I know, Delver's Secrets, right?
Oh, god damn it. Anyway. But anyway, yeah, so that's pretty cool. It'll be interesting to see where Modern goes from here. Actually, Saffronov, the guy I watch a lot on YouTube, there's a Team Modern event that's like a streamer thing that Wizards is doing tonight, and a lot of them already put Jace in their deck since the past 24 hours. Oh, damn,
they're playing with the new unbanned list?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So, I'm probably going to try to watch some of that at work tomorrow. But, yeah, so we'll stop the Magic news. We won't go too long, but... it's pretty exciting that this happened, and I'm so glad I had my 1 Jace for my Commander deck.
Damn it, he goes into Tezzerator now, doesn't he? Fuck.
Why?
Because the card draw.
Yeah, but Tezzeret's already better than him, and you don't want too many 4-drops.
Oh, no, you want the 4-drops.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, let's go on to really depressing news.
Really depressing.
Turn on that synthwave real quick.
We all agree this is a bad idea, right?
Yo,
I'm excited for this.
No,
I'm excited for this.
Man, you're wrong. This is bad.
Wrong.
So I'll play devil's advocate on this one. Who wants to talk about the news?
All right.
Kung Fury is getting a feature film. Now, anyone who knows me, I love that short film.
Oh, it was amazing.
That was first a music video with David Hasselhoff, True Survivor.
That got way out of hand.
Didn't know that.
I love that music video, and I'm like, holy fuck! They made a 30-minute video that they put on Netflix. I think it's still on Netflix, so if you want to check it out,
I'd say it was Kickstarted.
It was
Kickstarted.
Yeah, I know the whole thing's on YouTube at least.
I am checking the Netflix status.
And man, it's my jam. Like everything from beginning to end.
Oh, Netflix
is it not there anymore?
No, Netflix started making noise, so I have to check on my phone.
Oh, bum bum.
No, because the Netflix in those autoplay trailers, it just started playing a trailer for Altered Carbon.
Oh,
so annoying.
I need to watch Altered Carbon someday, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I put that on my list too.
Kung Fu Yoga is on Netflix. Don't worry.
Kung Fu Yoga.
Kung Fu Yoga. But
Kung Fury is not on Netflix anymore.
Whoa, damn. That sucks. Then you can just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
At least that's the first place I watched it, and it was for free. I don't know if it's for free anymore. But yeah, you should check it out if you're into the 80s aesthetics, synthwave, and it's not
Buddy
serious.
Cop. No, this is a parody movie.
Such fucking Triceracop. You're the best damn partner I've ever had.
Killed Mecha Hitler.
It's fucking great.
So can I just say, this is unrelated, I know, but This is truly strange. I checked for Kung Fury on Netflix, and I just started scrolling through what it recommends instead of Kung Fury. It recommends something called Look Who's Back. Here's the description, and there's a picture of Adolf Hitler. Well, here's the description. When Adolf Hitler reawakens at the site of his former bunker 70 years later, he's mistaken for a brilliant comedian and becomes a media phenomenon. This is a real movie. 2 hours.
Yeah, I'll bet. 2 hours. Jesus.
2 hours. Sorry, that's
Jesus.
insane. Keep going.
That's some weird shit. But that 30-minute short film is now being turned into a full feature-length film.
So here's the interesting thing about this. So Freeman, you liked the short.
Yes, I loved it.
And you are excited for this.
There's a 50% chance that this will just be like an awful, awful movie. But I'm really banking on like The Room kind of awful, where it's like enjoyably bad.
I feel like the problem is going to go on for too long.
Yeah. So
like 30 minutes was just right.
Here's the thing for me. No. You're not interrupting, because I was actually just going to say, to be perfectly honest, I didn't love the movie. I might have watched it when I wasn't in the right mood necessarily, but you guys know I'm usually in the mood to just laugh at something stupid like that. But honestly, for me, even the 30 minutes felt like it was just going on too long, and they were trying to hit it too hard all the time. I actually feel like I ran out of steam with the joke before I even finished the short. So I definitely don't feel like I could make it through like an hour and a half.
Do you like 80s like buddy cop movies though?
I guess that's might be part of it. I don't dislike them. I just never saw them a lot. Like I didn't watch what's the Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker
Rush Hour.
Rush Hour.
I didn't watch any of those. What's the one, Mel Gibson?
Lethal Weapon.
I didn't watch any of those.
You didn't watch Die Hard?
I did watch Die Hard, but that's not really a buddy cop
It's not,
movie.
but it's an 80s...
No, but it's that kind of like 80s action movie.
Well,
sure, but...
Well, it kind of is. What is it? Die Hard 3 was with Sam Jackson.
Yeah, roll into the third sequel.
Yeah, but all the Die Hard sequels are noticeably worse than the first one.
Whoa, Die Hard 3 was dope. Fuck you.
That doesn't answer my question. It was worse than the first one.
It was worse.
Well, there you go. That's what I said.
Worse.
Okay, I said noticeably worse.
I don't think it was bad. I honestly don't think 3 was bad.
It's not a bad or good. The first one is...
say it like that, it's almost like you're saying it's a bad movie.
Okay, some of the fire sale one, number 4.
Oh, fuck no.
The
that
fucking
movie
one where he goes
terrible.
to Russia with his son.
He doesn't
Holy
even say
shit.
yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. You gotta wait for the DVD release
to
hear him say it. It's shit.
What does he say instead?
Yippee-ki-yay, and then like it cuts off
my God.
before he said it. I remember I saw it in the
Lamest.
theater. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What kind of shit
If
is
I had
this?
paid money for that in the theater, I would have literally stood up and walked out when they did that. Why would you do that?
I don't, because they had to make it
PG-13.
PG-13.
I know why, but
it was bad enough that Justin fucking Long was in it.
Oh my God. We're getting so far away from fucking Kung Fury.
Anyway, Kung Fury is gonna have Michael Fassbender in it, which it sucks because for some reason people think, oh, putting Michael Fassbender in these movies is gonna save the goddamn movie. It's not.
It's
save
funny.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
It didn't save Prometheus.
Dude, it's so funny. He's a good actor, but he gets cast in shit.
He gets roped into these awful movies.
Actually, no, he did it to himself because he was totally on board. Didn't he like make the Assassin's Creed movie even happen?
Yeah, he was on board with a lot of these things.
So he's got like the Nick Cage problem.
What's the other? What was that indie film he was in? Frank. That movie was fucking bad.
No idea what you're talking about.
Well, I spoiled, I guess, something about the movie. But basically, it's dumb. It's about this band. It's supposed to be like a music movie.
Okay.
About this shitty band. Right? And the whole movie is throughout this band is just making shitty music. And up until the very end of the movie. And they just never make it. And this guy, he wears a fucking paper mache head the entire time of the movie.
Oh my God.
He refuses to take it off. And then at the end of the movie, obviously he takes off the head and it's fucking Michael Fassbender. Spoilers. I'm saving you from watching this movie.
So
it's shit.
Speaking of Kung Fury, Tyler Freeman, you probably didn't. Tyler, did you ever watch Hardcore Henry?
No, I didn't.
That first-person movie.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know about it.
Sounds familiar.
It was.
I didn't want to see it.
It was a big deal because it looks like a GoPro movie. My dad and I actually watched it one night a while ago. He just had it on. I don't even think I saw the whole thing. I think I came in late. That's the kind of schlocky, dumb thing that actually I had kind of fun with. Mostly because it was just a dumb gimmick. It's like if you took that cool scene in the Doom movie, like the one good part of that movie, and extended it.
Yeah. But I think just like Hardcore Henry, like the schlocky, right? Like I could take it for like maybe 15 minutes. Like same thing with Kung Fury. Like the short film went on for just long enough, or Hardcore Henry, since it was based off of a music video.
Hardcore doesn't really try to hit you as consistently. There's at least dips. Like Kung Fury, every line and action is designed to be as ridiculous as possible.
Yeah, that's the point, though.
But I'm saying Hardcore Henry at least wasn't like that. There were at least some breaks. And that's what my big problem with Kung Fury is. It's like, he gets kicked by a T-Rex and he ends up with giant Odin, and then fucking he just has a raptor as his buddy. It's like fucking Rick and Morty, Cable. If you took interdimensional Cable, any one of those segments, and made it way too long, that's exactly how I feel about fucking Kung Fury.
Listen, you're just mad.
You want to watch 3 seasons of fake doors?
Hell,
real fake doors?
If that bit had gone on for probably 10 more seconds, it would have gotten old. 10 more seconds and you could have done it so wrong.
See, that's how I felt about Pickle Rick as a whole episode.
I agree. I didn't like Pickle Rick that much.
Farewell, Solenia. That was probably one of the only like really good parts of that whole episode.
That episode is part of why I don't feel like season 3 started off that strong and is the weakest season.
Problem is, when you give Jerry a whole episode, that's when you've gone too far.
Also, when you're trying to get like even more serious and meta, it's like you're getting too into your own asshole.
Anyway, speaking of getting meta in your own asshole.
I'll say
meta yes, this is great. This is perfect.
Well, meta and things that are fucking garbage.
So we talked about it when it got announced out of nowhere, but the Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, aka the mobile port of a console game, got released this week, and reviewers are going in and saying, they did a surprisingly good job at porting the entire main plot line of the game into a mobile platform, but it looks like ass, it plays like ass, and they cut out honestly the best part of that whole game, which is the side quests. They got rid of it.
Wait,
it's
literally
what?
just like funnels you through the main story. It's just the main quest.
Wow.
Right like there, that kills it.
Like, the thing I loved about Final Fantasy 15, the thing that kept me from beating the plotline as fast as possible, was there are so many like quests at every outpost where it's like, okay, cool, let me grab this quest and just travel across the fucking map to the middle of nowhere, camp out, get my stats up. Oh man, extra boss fight. Like, that was
sounds
fun.
like a game that we'll talk about in a few weeks on my list.
It caused me to like not want to continue the plot. I'm like, I kind of want to stay here and do all these really fun side quests. But they cut all those out just to get this into one game, and honestly, it's commendable that they did it. But the question is, why? And the answer is money. But the real question is why the fuck are people going to pay for this?
Because they don't know better. Because they don't know.
It looks like hot garbage.
Look, as soon as it hits 3 stars on the App Store, it'll never sell again. But until then, if it's 4 or higher, people will buy it.
Square Enix needs to sell 10 copies, recoup the cost they put into this, and walk away.
They had one intern be like, make this whole game work on a phone.
Like, just dumb the engine down, drop it to like 4 or 5 pixels per character, call it a day.
Make it a Minecraft clone. All right. Speaking of Japan, things that are coming shitty from Japan.
Oh man, it's time for the weeb shit. So,
wow, 24 minutes in. This is like our fastest weeb time ever.
This week is less news and more just like real life shit posts here. Yeah, it's a bunch of bullshit. So I wish we did last week's podcast on Wednesday, because I woke up on Wednesday morning to find the greatest and the worst things I've ever seen on the internet. So on Wednesday morning, Reddit announced their change in policies regarding crap like well, not VR porn, but like swapping people's faces for porn. And the issue came down to depiction of people in pornography without their consent. So Reddit has this whole thing about purging these kind of subreddits. They also mentioned they were doubling down on their subreddits related to like underage depictions of people. And point is, they brought up any type of depiction, and then in parentheses they put the word anime.
Oh no!
So all of Reddit, all of anime with their whole "oh no, it's okay, she's actually a 500-year-old blah blah" excuse for like, oh, what do we do? The anime meme subreddit lost their goddamn mind and started just posting all this shit about how they'll never give up their lolly waifus. It was awful. So the anime subreddit, to prove that they were above all of this, opens up Wednesday morning, and I'm going to read off the titles of the posts because I found them in the order they were posted.
Oh, baby.
Some guy posts, I wrote a 6-page essay about why Onodera is the best girl for my English language and composition class. Ask me anything. And for the record, anyone who watches Nisei Koi, Onodera is not the... Okay, she is the best girl, but she loses. So anyway, so everyone's like, what the fuck? Why'd you post this? Like, oh, this comment. Our anime should never be allowed to touch Google Docs again. So an hour later, someone says, I see your 6-page essay and I raise you my IB Philosophy HL essay on Kokoro Connect.
Oh my fucking god.
So this goes on. Top comment on that was, our anime has evolved to slightly more intellectual weebs. This goes on further. Next guy comes in. More weeb essays. 12 pages comparing language use between Kirino Mosaic and Reddit, and a finals master's project on a Yuri drama CD.
What
about
the
12 pages. All these are on Google Drive. And everyone is just like, what the fuck is going on here?
What the fuck?
Then this guy comes in. No. Your essays are nothing compared to my 50-page, 4,000-word IB Film Studies extended essay on Madoka Magica.
What the hell?
Oh my god, one paragraph talking about how blah blah character's breast being large. What the hell is this paper?
How many essays have been written?
There were others that didn't make it to the top from last week, so I'm having trouble looking. Oh, no, I found another. All right. Response. Everyone's academic essays in the IB, and you got me over here doing university-level bachelor's in honors research proposal on waifuism and whether or not it should constitute as a religion.
Oh my god.
Oh
shit.
God. I'm going to make
last one. I see your HS and IB essays and raise you a 200-level university summative paper on Western European mythology's influence on anime. This one was less bullshit than actually a real one.
Oh my god.
And people started picking apart the grammar on the last one. But this is what the anime subreddit did on their Wednesday morning. And God. I want to just comment here. I don't think I'm better than most of these guys. My senior year of engineering school, our teacher, I was doing a class on machine learning and neural networks, and our teacher said, do a project that you're passionate about. No. So I created a neural network that recommends people anime the way I would recommend them anime.
Freeman, you were better than them. You should have stopped talking.
Nah, it's over. His fate has been sealed.
I don't know if I can say that anymore.
Then he's like, write a 20-page paper on what you did, and the first 3.5 pages were, what is anime and why do I love it? This is a master's level class, mind
you. You should have submitted this to the Reddit. You would have been on top.
Fuck no, it was cringy as shit. I'm not posting that on the internet.
I know better. As we talk about it on a podcast.
Hell yeah.
So no, but the problem is, like, in order to train the neural network, I had to reveal what I ranked each show in, like, one of 7 categories in terms of stuff like,
oh my god,
cutesy, action-packed, suspense, thrill, and people are going to come to me like, what the fuck is wrong with your taste? And I'm not exposing that to the internet.
God damn.
No, I ain't getting trashed like that. But speaking of getting trashed, this thing I have to address this, because this has come up in the comments 3 weeks in a row. I forget, was it Cypher who called me out on being salty that my waifu lost? Yep. So look, we gotta talk about what happened in 2016 in the official Reddit Waifu Wars. So, as any good anime fan knows, Tadakoro Megumi from Food Wars is the best girl of all time.
Wait, who?
Megumi.
Oh,
from Food Wars.
Wow, that's your pick. Okay.
She is my best girl as of whenever that show came out.
Okay.
So she got propelled into the semifinals that year. I am not going to lie, she probably didn't deserve to be in there. She got hate picked into the finals.
Oh,
so
no.
We're in the semifinals, and winning into the quarterfinals. You have the main girl from Bakemonogatari, which is one of those shows that everyone circle jerks themselves about how it's such an intellectual show and it has so much meaning, except it literally has no meaning unless you understand the wordplay of every word they use in Japanese. So everyone who's circle jerking about this, they just think the girls look pretty. Then you got this one girl from the Railgun / Index series, which, by the way, this series is trash. If you like this show, I don't know what to say to you. But in the real brackets, this is the year that Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works had exploded. So Saber made it into the top 8, and Rin made it into the top 8. But in that same bracket with them was Megumi and this one anime character named Hollow. If you ask Luigi, he will tell you Hollow is the best girl in all of anime. If you ask the anime subreddit, they think she's the most overrated thing ever and will do whatever they can to get her out of top girl.
Damn.
So going into the finals, the Bakemonogatari girl gets hate picked out, and your Index girl comes in. And in the other branch, we got Hollow versus Megumi, aka me versus Luigi. The anime subreddit did not want to let the Hollow fans finally let her win. So they hate picked her out of the semifinals and boosted Megumi into the finals, which she shouldn't have won because she beat Saber by like 1,000 votes. But
wait, didn't your girl win?
No, she did not. She makes it. She beats Hollow by 16 votes to get into the semifinals, where she gets shit on by like 1,400 votes against Mikoto Misaka from Index / Railgun. It was no one thought Megumi was going to win. It was a bunch of people just hate picking against the popular votes.
Oh boy, that sounds dumb as hell.
Because of our
anime subreddit,
fucks, they propped up my best girl only for her to lose.
Oh my
finals. And that is why I'm salty.
Okay.
So
you need to start campaigning for best girl, like your best girl, man.
Look, believe me, next year when the best girl contest starts, every week I'm going to post some shit. It's going to be great.
Baby. Can't
wait. Listeners,
like, hear you.
Megumi,
you got to vote for best girl. I see Andrew, it's Freeman, standing out into the middle of the street with like some kind of weeb shit. Vote for best girl. A vote. I don't know. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. I can't say anything.
There's a reason that I cosplayed the villain, the first villain to acknowledge her as an amazing chef.
Oh man!
Oh God!
Because I acknowledge her as best girl of all. Oh,
Friedman, were you really thinking that deep when you picked him?
No, not really. I was just going for a character that wears glasses,
and has pink hair.
Oh, the pink hair came second. Moving on.
Let's go to more
real news here. So there was a magazine article regarding the production behind Attack on Titan Season 3, which, as everyone knows, is coming out this summer. The problem is we're now getting conflicting reports that seem to indicate it's not going to be 24, but it might only be a 12-episode show.
Womp womp.
Which is disheartening, because they revealed certain things about what kind of production they have going, and they very explicitly mentioned that, quote-unquote, of the 12 episodes in production right now, we have a special director for 3 action series and 1 guest director for a, quote-unquote, very special scene. Anyone who's read Attack on Titan knows exactly the scene I'm referring to. I haven't read it, but I've gotten spoiled to high heaven, so I'm not going to ruin it for the rest of you. But there's one particular scene that's going to be very powerful that they're getting a special director for. But more importantly, they did not mention anything beyond those 12 episodes. So they may be rushing a certain plot line. A lot of people think that in order to do the next plot line, it should be more like 14 or 15 episodes and then use the remainder for the following arc. I don't know. It sounds more and more like they might just want to have Attack on Titan be a 12 episodes every year kind of thing. So, unfortunately, we have no clue what's going on, and I'm upset because all the hype about 24 episodes last week got me going.
Damn.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
At least we're getting it.
At least it's not 4-year wait.
That's what I'm saying. At least it's not 4 years.
I'm sure there's no chance that they already have 12 episodes, like a few episodes done and a few episodes that they haven't started yet. That's not possible.
Nope, there's no way, because that studio is currently airing Ancient Magus Bride, and that show is currently having production quality issues where they couldn't get stuff for the second animation in time, or second opening in time, so they reused animation until it was done. So that's your first indicator they're behind schedule. So it's getting iffy. Speaking of awful, terrible animation, I started watching this show called Pop Team Epic.
What the fuck?
This show is something else. I haven't watched a shitpost like this in quite a long time. Take Robot Chicken, but make it like terrible, awful Japanese humor, and then asked like 15 different anime studios to just keep animating different 8-second bits for this show.
Oh my god!
This thing is fucking amazing. It was supposed to be a 12-minute show, and it's about these two girls, but the author keeps playing jokes on the readers. Like sometimes he'll just start a chapter like it's a different manga, and then he'll just cut into what it actually is. Like, he's constantly fucking with you. And this show shows they are constantly messing with you as the viewer. Like the first 5 minutes are a different anime, and then it finally cuts in the real show. And the author has said it multiple times. It's funny if you imagine these two girls speaking in deep, manly voices. So they showed off the first 12 minutes of the show with female voices. Everyone's like, wait, they're supposed to have male voice actors. So they started doing this thing where every week they change the voice actors. So there's 2 different females voicing every week, and then right at the 12-minute mark, the episode just starts re-airing from the beginning, but with male voices. So they turned a 12-minute show into a 23.5-minute show, with the opening and ending airing twice, with different characters or different voice actors voicing them in different halves. So you have the female version and the male version, and the same shitty humor is present. Everyone on the show keeps referring to the show as some shitty anime, so they're very meta about how bad they are. Go watch the first episode.
What? This sounds like hot trash. What the hell?
But it's actually great. It's actually great.
I don't know how to take that.
Have you ever watched Robot Chicken?
Yeah, hell yeah.
It's like this is Japanese Robot Chicken.
I mean,
it can't be the same caliber.
This is Japanese
no
Robot
way.
Chicken. It's what it's trying to be.
I'll try it, I guess. I don't know.
You're gonna hate it. It's real stupid.
It sounds real dumb.
I just remember now, completely off topic, sort of. We are in weeb shit. Reminds of that Robot Chicken skit where the dad watches literally all of Inuyasha.
Oh my god, you're so right. Oh my god. That's the fucking
my god,
bed.
Kagome. No, call me Inuyasha. Inuyasha. Kagome.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. That was a good one.
Oh my god. Then I guess we'll move along into the what did we watch this week. I know Tyler had something you wanted to talk about.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched some stuff because I actually had time to sit down.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I watched all of the what's it called? Devilman.
Oh man.
Shit.
Yeah, I mean it's only 10 episodes.
Yeah. And they're like 20-minute episodes, so it's really easy to burn through. I remember you messaged me the other day. You're like, "Yo, Rio's a badass," but you spelled it R-I-O, and I'm like,
yeah, because I didn't know how you fucking spelled it, and then I saw the end credits. I'm like, oh, they spell it R-Y-O. Okay.
But what did you think of this show?
All right, so I liked it a lot, but I would never recommend it to anyone I know. No, actually, I know one person who would like this show. None of you know him.
Fuck.
But, like, this same motherfucker, he's like, all right, we used to watch movies all the time at work. And he would, like, make me watch, like, Jacob's Ladder, Enter the Void, Eraserhead, like, weird shit.
Ugh.
But, like, it was good. I thought they were all right. But I was like, I watched the whole show, and I was like, man, he would totally like this anime. Because, like, it's just weird.
That's
like,
what I got from the first episode for sure.
Yeah, there's no way to describe it other than it's just fucking weird.
All I knew is a minute and a half in, they flashed forward to the present, and you see Rio like drifting around these corners with just his headlights are the only thing on display.
Rio.
With fucking synthwave blasting, and he's like, Akira, I need to find you. Title drop. I'm like, damn, I already know this show's gonna be great.
Yo,
holy shit, that show was weird.
The second scene you see of him, I think it's in the first episode, he like finds
he like pulls up on the docks where the main character's hanging out.
He pulls up on the dock and he pulls out a fucking machine gun
and starts shooting down the dock. He's like, quick, get in the car.
I'm like, damn, this is Japan. You're gonna get blown the fuck away.
God damn. It's okay, Tyler. He's an American professor.
Yeah, right.
Oh my god, his English accent.
Shit. God damn.
I saw that. I saw that first episode. I know what you guys are talking about.
Professor Figura.
And I didn't expect it to end.
End that way or end in general?
Just end. I thought there was like, oh, this is probably gonna go into a couple seasons, and like the way how everything like kind of wraps up and like goes, I'm like, holy shit.
So apparently they followed the manga pretty closely for the ending, which I'm upset about because I didn't like the ending. but this is the first time they've done like a faithful adaptation of it
ever.
Yeah.
Of this, manga.
There was some stylistic changes made because this manga is pretty old.
Yeah, I didn't know. Well, because I was like, they're referencing like Devilman. I'm like, is this a thing? Because they keep referencing it, and I looked it up, and I'm like, oh shit, it's actually kind of.
It's a pretty long running series, but like I think it's like episode 2 or 3. They start playing a remix of the original theme in the middle of the show.
Well, they show the fucking like
the kid looks it up on YouTube.
Yep. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they established that Devilman was a series in that universe.
Oh my god.
Where he's also Devilman.
No.
There was one scene, though, I have to say, that almost got me.
What?
With the dad.
Oh man, dude, that was a hard scene to watch.
That actually fucked me up. That was hard.
Fuck.
I don't know, the scene with Miki in the next last episode, I was very upset with it.
Yeah.
This is not an easy anime to watch. It's very stylistic, and God, the soundtrack.
Well, I'm a hard ass.
Oh my God, the soundtrack.
I won't lie. I'm a hard ass motherfucker. Like I see like shit going on. I'm like, whatever. I don't give a shit.
Tyler, you just flashed me back to the vine of the girl going, I'm a bad bitch.
I'm a bad bitch. That's me. But because like, what was it? I'm like, you see like a dude's arm get ripped off, people get shot. Like it's not like Freeman mentioned last week. It's not for like.
No way, dude. That first episode,
a lot of
even
blood in this show. Dude, where Rio's like, we need demons here. Let me just start fucking break my beer bottle and start stabbing people.
Yeah,
dude. And there's one episode I just shook my head because I know it's like supposed to be like a funny thing that happened, but I was like, this is actually fucking not only disgusting, just retarded. When he's in his bed and he is sleeping.
Oh my god,
and something happens. I was like, what the actual fuck? I was like, whatever, we're gonna keep going. We're gonna press through. And I'm like, you know what? I liked it though. I will say it's got the Just Tyler stamp of approval.
It was decent enough. It's only 10 episodes, but just be warned, it's not for the faint of heart.
It's not. Like I stand by what I said. I would not recommend this to anyone except one person I know. And it's not because it's not. I wouldn't say it's bad. Like there's some things in it, like with the pacing, that make it kind of weird, and like the animation isn't great. But
it's odd.
It's an odd choice.
Style, yeah.
But I will say, if you're into really weird, like weird shit, because that's what it is. It's weird shit. We're not talking. I don't know. What's some light weird shit that I can think of? I can't think of anything. Like I said, like I'm not saying it breaks boundaries like Eraserhead or like Jacob's Ladder or some shit like that, but like it's up there. God. Like it's up there in weirdness. It really is.
Damn.
I also watched Darling in the Franxx. I caught up on that. And...
Oh shit! The plot thickens this week.
God
yeah,
damn.
and I decided I'm not watching that anymore.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I can't deal with the faces. The faces on the robot fucking destroy me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like when they boot up the robots and they have actual faces, I don't like it.
Oh, come on.
I know that's a small nitpicky thing, but that's not like the reason why. Like I don't know why. Like the characters, I don't give a shit about any of these characters. Like they might flesh them out some more. But I'm
God,
like,
they do have faces on these robots.
Yeah, it's weird.
Because, and I don't want to spoil it, but there's a strong connection between the robots and the pilots. Yeah, and that's why there's faces.
We figured that out, but
I get that.
Fuck faces.
Gurren
was as far as you can go.
Gurren had 2 faces.
Yeah, none of them looked like people faces.
Simone's moved when he talked.
Yeah, and it looked like a robot talking, not a literal face. Not a person.
God, you guys are so uncultured.
Freeman, I'm not saying...
This is what anime is.
Freeman, I'm not saying I'm not going to watch it. I still haven't watched the show. But I'm also saying Tyler has a point. They look like fucking people robots.
That's the point.
Yeah. That's the point. Which brings me to the other thing. Right?
Fuck this show. That's the point.
I like... Damn.
No,
damn.
I didn't even watch it.
That's fine. Also, there's a couple other points I want to make. Quick points. The way they hook up to each other... I understand this is Studio Trigger. They do some weird shit.
It's all an allegory for sex, dude.
I know, but I'm like, damn, this is kind of demeaning. I'm not even like a feminist or anything like that. But I was like, damn. Well, have you seen how they hook up to him?
Anything.
Okay,
I see a screenshot that looks a little weird.
Yeah, so the females, right? They're always grouped.
Yeah, I'm just gonna post
male
this
females
and see what happens.
You should. Just to get
I see a picture.
But I'm going to describe it in words for the listeners.
Why did it not post the actual image?
Freeman, that's the exact picture I'm looking at.
Yeah, that's the way they're piloted.
Yeah.
Go look up Darling in the Franxx. It's like the second, third image that shows up.
Oh my
God. Like, oh, dude, it's so... like, they get bent over, and then fucking switches pop out of their their hips. And then they, like, control them that way. And it's like, all right, time to link up. And then the anime girl's like, eh.
Because it's supposed...
I know. I get it. I know. No, don't get frustrated.
Holy shit.
I know. Wait.
How about we take one more break? Oh, okay, go. Fine. Take something else. No, go ahead.
Okay. Wait, shit. Now I forgot. Damn you.
You said there's one more thing.
While you're remembering,
there was one more thing.
Luigi got me watching this show called Miss Koizumi Loves Ramen Noodles.
Oh, fuck
this is like Food Wars. You got rid of all the food battles. You toned down the foodgasms to just literally people eating, and it's a half-hour people eating ramen.
That's fucking...
And I watch this show as I eat dinner.
Of course, and I'm sure, I can't believe Luigi would watch anything else. Fucking hell.
Damn.
Oh my god. What an asshole show. Holy shit. Let's be the more passive-aggressive version of Food Wars.
Damn.
Jeez. Except it's not even aggressive. It's just
Freeman,
passive.
I'm not saying it's actually aggressive, but the fact that they made that show meant they were being passive-aggressive about Food Wars existing.
Trust me, this is not the first food anime where people just get way into their food.
Also,
Food Wars is just the best.
I like how I see a picture of the main girl from Darling in the Franxx with a fucking JoJo hat. It's literally a picture of her with a JoJo hat on.
It's fine. She stops wearing it after like 30 seconds.
I'm not upset. It's just funny. Also, why do I see a picture of Bakugo when I search for Darling in the Franxx? God. That's weird.
Oh yeah, it also made me realize, I remember the thing.
Uh-oh.
It made me realize how many male main characters in anime who are high schoolers and they have like short, dark hair. Like always, like the same hairstyle.
It's all of them. It's every anime main character's.
I really didn't think about it and they all have like the same goddamn personality.
The lack of personality is that way you can project onto them.
I know, and it really.
They got Kirito syndrome.
Yes. No, that's immediately who I thought of. I thought of Kirito at I'm watching this dude and I'm like, I don't give a shit about this kid at all. He's just a plain asshole. He's just a plain dude. There's nothing special about him.
Right, Mr. Sword Art loser. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loser.
And it's like,
he's the strongest character.
Tyler,
in multiple.
What?
Freeman, you know how you make a character a loser? You make them way too powerful to be interesting. Then they're a fucking loser.
That's who this fucking kid is. He has all this potential. And it's like 02 is cool. And I found myself, this is gonna be embarrassing. But I found myself saying, why the fuck? There's no way a girl like 02 would ever be interested in this piece of shit. Never. I said that out loud when I was watching it. I'm like, this is horse shit.
Oh, God. That's excellent.
I mean, the last episode, I'll give the writer some credit. He, within the 5 episodes that have come out, he, expressed some emotion. Finally.
All right, hold on. I'm going to put it this way. The main character is not the draw of the show. Right now, I'm very interested in the world they're setting in. They're doing where they feed you just enough info to keep you interested, but not enough that you actually know what's going on. And especially, there was a conversation that happened in the last episode where someone asked a question, and then some guy's like, I guess they haven't told you yet. And then he gives them a very distinctly fake answer. And that was enough for me to go holy shit, what's going to happen in the show? Because it alludes to a lot of things. And knowing Studio Trigger, when they start alluding, it's going to be good.
Right. It's not enough, unfortunately, for me to keep going. I may give it another shot later on, but not right now, I think.
All right, let's call it here because we're 50 minutes in. It's already after 9 o'clock, and we should get on to our topic. So we are going to take our break, and we are going to start what is probably a 5-week topic. We are going to talk about our top 10 games of all time each. That's about it. Yeah. We're going to try to cover 2 games each a week. This week we tried to order these in a general order. Obviously, being our 10 favorite games each, there's a lot of wiggle room here. I know for me, outside of my top 3 could easily be in any order. Yeah. So
yeah.
But we're gonna get started. We're gonna take our break, and when we come back, we'll do number 9 and number 10 and any honorable mentions to kick things off. So we'll see you in a minute. And we're back after a break that just kept getting longer and longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna just chug right through. We're gonna today and yesterday we all wrote up approximately 10 games for our top 10 list.
I wanted to write there are only
10. 10 games.
There are
listeners.
There are 10 games.
I wish you guys could hear the panic in Tyler's
10
yesterday when we said top 10. He's like, I can't do it.
I can't. Yo, man, it was hard.
So I
was thinking about it all day.
So I just didn't do it. That's it. So since I cheated, I'll go last.
Yeah, fuck.
We're just gonna jump right into it because we're gonna be talking about these for a while probably. Let's just start off. You guys both had some honorable mentions. Why don't we bring those up? Tyler, did you have any honorable mentions before we get to your number 10?
I did. I have 2.
Okay.
And I notice now I have a lot of sequels with 2 in them.
That's fair.
Both of them are Mass Effect 2 and Left 4 Dead 2.
Nice.
Mass Effect 2, I'm just going to touch on them very, very briefly. Mass Effect 2, it was that game I really didn't expect to ever play, right? And then from fucking left field, I'm playing it, and then I'm playing it throughout the entire weekend. I'm like, holy cow.
Did you play the first one?
Before I did.
You played it? Oh, wow.
I didn't, and because I was like, man, I must be a heathen, right? And I am.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
I'm a complete heathen, and for some reason I couldn't get into the first one, right? But a friend of mine who loaned me Mass Effect 2, he's like, listen, this game is a lot better, and I think you would like this a lot more. It's a lot more action oriented.
He's not wrong about it being better.
Yeah, and man, I don't think it'd been a while since the ending of the game, of a game or the climax, really kept me on the edge of my seat because I was trying very hard to not have everyone get killed.
Yep.
And I know even with because I did everything. I made sure everyone's shit was maxed out.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, and I read online there's still a chance that they could die.
Yeah, dude.
And
I'm pick the wrong person and you get fucked.
I was like, oh my god, I was sweaty. It was great. It was fantastic, and I was like, man, I'm never. And it's the sucky part was that I was finished with that game, and I'm like, wow, I'm never gonna feel that suicide mission ever again for the first time.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, and so that's why I like that. Left 4 Dead 2 is one of those games that I don't know, I never strived to be good at it, even though I was decent at it.
Did you have close friends who were playing it with you at the time?
Yes. Yeah, I had a lot of friends that were very into that game. We played it a bunch. And even when I didn't have friends to play it with, I just played it just to play. It's a game that I put down and I could pick it up tomorrow and be like, I'll play for 15 minutes to relive this.
See, that's impressive because I feel like I had my phase, and certain games, I'm just never, ever, ever going to be able to touch Left 4 Dead 2 again without being bored inside of 5 minutes.
Oh, damn.
Oh, yeah. I could totally see that.
Near the end, when I was playing it with people, I was like, God, I don't want to play this. This is so boring at this point. I mean, it was fun in the beginning. Don't get me wrong. It's not a bad game, but I just, did I get bored quick? Like,
I feel like the game's
now
very
I get bored
repetitive.
quick. Yes, now I get bored quick. Originally, I didn't, but
right, you got your fill out of it.
Yeah,
and it's just like, whatever. Maybe like 10 years from now, you'll be like, oh yeah, how does Left 4 Dead play? And then you're like, ah, shit, that's right.
I genuinely think it wouldn't take more than 15 minutes to be like, I'm done already.
Of course, that's how, and I feel like that's how that game is. Like, it has lived out its purpose.
Never gonna get a third one.
Never gonna get a third one. No, we have to. It's gonna happen in Orange Box 2.
What would you name it though? Left 3 Dead?
No, this is Left 4 Dead 3.
Left. No.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It would be cool if it was Left 3 Dead, but it always has to be 4. Always.
All I remember was right before it came out, there were a lot of rumors that it was going to be Left to Die was going to be the sequel.
Yeah, that was their opportunity, but as soon as they didn't do that, now it's a series.
Yeah, it's going to be Left 4 Dead 3. Yeah, but it's Valve. They don't know how to release games anymore.
Yeah.
They don't know
They don't want to.
Say 3.
No. It's not even 3. They have, except for that stupid fucking card game, they don't plan to release any games.
What card game? Is it like a Dota card game?
Yes.
Ugh. So
it's
mad.
quote unquote not Hearthstone.
Dude, props to fucking Gwent for being a totally different take on how a card game works.
Yeah.
Can I just say that? Like, obviously I'm doing Witcher at the time, and we'll probably get to that in one of these weeks. Spoilers. But, like, fucking playing Gwent, I am never going to get into Gwent. But I could see why someone who doesn't like Magic, doesn't like Hearthstone, doesn't like all this stuff, could totally like Gwent. It's so totally different of a card game. It's awesome. There's no resource management. It's just about being strategic.
Yeah, and how to use your resources effectively.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. And like the positioning of the board as well. I think that's like
the whole melee,
cool
ranged,
gimmick.
and siege. It's so simple. You have 3 rows. You have cards that play into each row. That's it. Like, they have special abilities that affect the field and stuff like that, but there's no mana. There's no resource of any kind. There's just, you have 10 cards. Do I blow all these cards to smash one round, or what do I do? It's crazy.
Let's see. Do I go into my 10 or do?
Oh no, let's Freeman, do your honorable mentions.
Freeman,
Round the room. All right, honorable mentions. The first one I gave to was Life is Strange, just because this game came out completely out of left field. I had seen one trailer from like, this was kind of stupid, but the first chapter was only like $5. I'm like, let's see what it's like. And most people this game isn't for, but I walked away from the first chapter going like, wow, this game did a really good job of like getting you in a mood and putting you like in this story. I haven't played a game that felt like that in a while, and I don't know if I really will. But I wouldn't call it my top 10 because as a game, it's not particularly that fun. I enjoyed it more as an experience. Like I don't know if I'll ever be able to play through it again, but I like nothing. No other game has had this rush release just because of the way Life is Strange was released was this episodic format. So every 2 to 3 months, a new chapter would come out. And that excitement between chapters isn't a feeling I felt for a game before, where you're like, oh god, I gotta know what's gonna happen next. Only 2 months, excitement, then you just rush home and play the next 5-hour segment. And it was just a unique experience. So it's definitely on my honorable mentions, but not a top 10 game. My number 2, just because I felt the whole genre was underrepresented, I have Rocket League on here because I highly value story in my games. This will come up as the weeks go on, but for Rocket League, it's just one of those pick up and play games, and it kind of exemplifies that whole genre. Just jump in, play a 5-minute round, win or lose, I'm having a good time, and chances are I'm going to sit there and play like 4 or 5 more rounds. I kind of burnt out of it, but Rocket League kind of exemplifies the genre. I was hanging out with my buddy Dave last night. He's like, hey, you're going to put Super Mario Strikers on this list? I'm like, no, Dave. Despite the fact that we spent like a majority of our after school on high school playing Super Mario Strikers just because it was like the best Mario sports game, doesn't mean I'm going to put it on here. But I think this kind of covers that same kind of feel. And the last one, just because I can't bring myself to play this game again because it looks awful on a modern HD display. is Super Mario Sunshine. Even with all the Mario games that have released since then, Sunshine was like the first one where I beat it to full completion, and just that whole tropical island aesthetic was really fucking good. And there isn't another game that really feels like that. If they were to release an HD version, I would play it in a heartbeat. They had teased it for Wii, and I was so disappointed when it never, came to light. They had Wind Waker. Wind Waker came back in HD release. That gave me hope, and then the Switch happened, which not that it didn't give me hope. It didn't give me hope for Super Mario Sunshine.
Like, I'm upset too because people, like, growing up, right? Like after that launch, there were a lot of people talking shit about that game.
Dude, people hated it. They were like, why the fuck did Mario go in this direction? It used to be about jumping, and now there's these, like, what are they called? Piantas dancing around, making fucking noises, shooting water at stuff. But, like,
I really enjoyed it.
I'm not gonna lie, like, the defining moment for me playing Super Mario Sunshine was on my very first playthrough. You go to the first world that is in the hub world, and you jump up over that wall, and you see this huge field of just sludge and shit that's trying to kill you. And I'm like, oh my god, I had to clean all of this.
Yeah, man.
And it set the feeling of that game where it's just like, this island is just covered in shit, and now you have to clean it. But, like, like, the more creative you got, the faster the level would go. You didn't actually have to clean everything on the level. But it was cool.
Yeah, the jetpack water, like the super soaker, was interesting. Though I see that was like the start. It was either that or Luigi's Mansion. That was the start of like these new
Mario with accessory games.
Yes, like there's always something. Now they always got something with them now.
There's always a gimmick. First it was like the star bits in Galaxy. Then it was like the fucking, I don't know if it was the raccoon suit in Odyssey, not Odyssey, Mario 3D. I didn't even play that one.
Super Mario Brothers 3, baby. Hey,
Super Mario 2.
Yo, I was playing that today in the children's hospital.
So hold on, Tyler. Do you know who I'm referencing?
Yeah, Donkey.
Okay, so I never watched him regularly, and then last week at work, all of a sudden, one of his videos popped up in my recommended feed, and I watched like 30 of them.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers 2, baby!
Game of the year.
Game of the year! It's great!
Freeman, if you get the chance, you should try watching Video Game Donkey a little bit. He has 4.2 million subs. He's very popular, but he does these very good, short-form, very funny videos. I got a lot of kick out of watching him last week.
I've seen most of his stuff. I haven't watched more recent ones.
I mean, every Game of the Year list, _1 is Super Mario Brothers
2, baby! Hey. With Knack.
Knack!
Fucking Knack!
Knack 3D Game of the Year.
Fucking shit tier game. God damn it.
So, I'm struggling mightily.
For what you dump out of your top 20 into your honorable mentions?
So here's the thing, viewers. I started writing my top 10 list. I started with my birthday video from 2 years ago, where I did my top 20 games, and I basically put all my top 10, then I added most of the rest of the 20, and then I added a few games that I've played since then. And I am struggling mightily to cut anything from this list. Originally, I had taken my number... you know what? I'm going to do it. My number 10 spot is 10 more games that are all honorable mentions. I seriously, while you guys were talking about Mario Sunshine, because I had nothing to contribute to that, because I've never played a Mario game for more than 5 minutes, I was trying to think of how I could cut this list down. And I don't know if it's just something about me, but I mean, the reason my birthday video was top 20 was because I could easily think of 20 games that I absolutely fucking loved. Like,
simple, cut it down for you. Just take everything below 11, put a massive line through it, bam, there's your top 10.
But those are, I know. I moved it on purpose to make that the number 10 spot. But I do want to mention all of these as honorable mentions, because these it sounds so dumb. It's okay. I
can't uncross out these options.
Damn.
I don't want to cheapen the list by having too many, but like depending on how I was feeling at the time, any one of these 10 games could be on this list. So I just wanted to rattle off some really awesome games that, like, so looking at this list, almost, I'd say 2/3 of the honorable mentions are newer games for me, and most of the top 10 is based on not necessarily nostalgia, but just absolute certainty that these games should be in my top 10. But there's games even missing from this. But I'm just going to rattle a few my honorable mentions off because I don't want to spend too much time. Fable: The Lost Chapters. It was in my top 10 on my video. I still absolutely love Fable. I ran a D&D game with these two guys in our D&D group for over a year based on Fable. I still think Fable Original is one of my favorite games ever. I could probably pick that up and do a playthrough almost any time. From Massive Entertainment, World in Conflict, and the Ground Control series. I fucking love Ground Control. It's one of my favorite baseless RTSs ever. Probably my favorite. Newer open world games, Mad Max and the new Tomb Raider series. Those games are all so good.
I want to play the new Tomb Raider.
Rise of the Tomb Raider was a lot of fun. Like, here's the thing. I think my issue, the reason this is such a struggle, is I appreciate great gameplay that I can really get into, because I personally can get into almost any story. I'll make fun of it as I go, because that's just how I am, but I can get invested and interested in almost any single story. So, like, almost any game on this list is, like, one of my favorite stories because I feel like I have such an intimate, close connection with them. It's like the same thing with Star Wars. Even the shitty Star Wars books, I still remember them because I really easily sink into stories. Unless something really jars me out of it, I can enjoy what's going on. So that's why it was such a struggle for all these, because a lot of these have great gameplay. A few of the ones in the actual top 10 are there because of their story more than their gameplay, but most of them just have good gameplay to me.
A couple of mine are story-based, but we'll get to that.
No, it's the same thing. Just to continue quickly, but yeah, the new Tomb Raiders, especially Rise of the Tomb Raider, was a fantastic game to play. I just love playing it. That's, again, I know I'm going on tangents. That's, again, why there's so many, because these are all games that I enjoyed playing at the end of the day. I really enjoyed. Sins of a Solar Empire, probably in my top 5, almost definitely in my top 5 strategy games of all time. That's for sure. I still play that game to this day with Star Wars mods and stuff like that. I fucking love that game because it's space, strategy, I love it. I bought the collector's edition, although I don't know where most of the pieces of it went. Another sci-fi thing, Mech Assault, the series from Xbox. I like big robots. That series is part of why I think robots are so cool. Because I loved piloting a big robot around and shooting guns from it. It was such a blast. Shadow of Mordor. I haven't played Shadow of War yet, but Shadow of Mordor, again, that could probably be under the open world, but like taking the Batman formula that I thought was interesting, but I never got super into, and then giving it to something like Lord of the Rings, it's like, yeah, hell yeah. The new Doom, top 5 FPSs of all time, that's for sure. Actually, there's not many FPSs on my list. That'd be top 5 for sure, actually, based on...
Not Unreal 2?
How did Tyler...
Yeah, because I saw Tim playing Unreal 2 before this podcast.
Fine, you want to go on? You want to start that tangent? Let's start it. I can't play Witcher as much anymore, only because I have done all of the side content. There's almost nothing left except sailing around Skellige, getting smuggler's caches of items that aren't really at my level anymore. So I don't want to just get into Witcher and be bored. I don't want that to happen. So I was like, what the fuck can I play? And I was cleaning out my Steam list. I finally hid all those shitty, like, 300 games I'm never going to play. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, Unreal 2. That game is just, like, I enjoy playing that. That was the first Let's Play that I ever uploaded to the Timpedia channel, actually. Oh. And
history. It's
a simple, fun shooter. And that would probably be in my top 5 too, actually, because maybe not. That it's not an amazing shooter, but it's fun. Anyway, Doom is without a doubt a mind-bogglingly good shooter. I mean, with everything that was against it and the the soundtrack, the graphics, everything comes together in this amazing package. I mean, Tyler, you played it at least, right? I think.
Yeah, I have it.
It's fucking amazing.
I saw a little bit of your Let's Play. It's definitely intriguing me.
It's awesome. And then finally another new entry, Evil Within 2. Almost on the list. Like, all of these are so close to the list, but this one is super close. I have almost never in my life finished a game, immediately gone into New Game Plus, and completely rebeaten the game without any kind of break. I finished replaying Evil Within 2 before the Let's Play was done releasing. That is how much I absolutely fucking loved that game. And that game was an absolute blast to play. I don't even like horror, but like, it's just, I don't want to get into it because it's an honorable mention, but it's such a good package. I feel like all of these could easily be on my top 10, and that was my struggle. But anyway, let's finally break into our 10 because we're already like we're at like an hour and 15, and we haven't even touched our top 10.
It's fine.
It is fine.
I know you guys haven't played my 9 and 10, so it'll just be me talking 5 minutes about each of them.
But let's just keep the order we were doing, though. So, Tyler, tell us about your number 10.
All right. So I was thinking about some games all day, and I'm like, man, what is some that like really like fucking hit me? And I was like, man, I really liked Uncharted 2. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves by Naughty Dog came out in, what, 2010?
Probably.
Now,
had you played the first one when it came out?
Yeah, so that's what I was about to mention. So I played the first one, and I think I've said this on the podcast before, but I played Drake's Fortune, and man, I hated that game.
I didn't even beat the first one because I bought the collection on PS3 years later, and I couldn't even beat the first game.
It wasn't good. The platforming was shit.
Oh yeah,
like,
combat was garbage.
Combat was garbage. Like, the puzzles just weren't engaging. The story was dumb, which is strange, given their story pattern later on for the at least 2 and 3, right? It's almost weird to have the reverse effect. I don't feel like going into any spoilers, but I played 1. This is back when Blockbuster was still a thing, mind you.
Oh man.
Yeah. So I got the first. I played it, and I was like, man, this game sucks. And then like 2 came out. I had no games I was playing at the time, and I was like, man, I'm bored. I'm gonna go to Blockbuster, and that was it. Uncharted 2 was there. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'll play it.
Damn.
And I pop it in with my buddy. We're watching the opening cutscene where Drake's like dangling from the train. He's like, oh, blood. Oh, that's my blood. That's my blood. And he's like, he wakes up, and then like all of a sudden, like it's almost like you feel it with him. It's like, oh, he's on a train. He's clearly wounded. Oh shit! Wait, what's up with this train? Oh shit! It's hanging vertically. Oh shit! Wait, I gotta get the fuck up this train.
Oh shit!
Oh my god! And then you're like, what the fuck happened? Well, we'll tell you. And then it goes into the flashback. Normally, I don't like stuff like that, but the way they presented it, all the way from there to the end, was like excellent. It almost felt like a movie.
Cool.
I remember back when IGN was big and they were still doing their Game of the Years and people actually cared about it. I remember they made a huge deal about the train sequence just because of how technically impressive it was.
Super did.
Like, that stood out in my mind as like, oh, maybe I should play this game just because of how impressive it looked.
Oh yeah, like,
I mean, that game was one of those. That game was one of those console crisis games because of just how fucking gorgeous it was.
Yeah, they stepped it up, and you know, and that was one of the few things I've went into with extremely low expectations, right? And normally I come out like, yeah, it's exactly what I expected, but no, like, this game was like, no, fuck you. You thought the first one was bad. We're gonna prove to you this was a good game, and it did. It blew my mind. I was like, this is crazy. Like, everything was improved: the jumping, the shooting, the storytelling, like the characters, like the sidebar talks. Like in between missions, like as you guys are walking through, they'll make like the sidebar chat, and you get to learn about all the characters. It's like you don't have to like force yourself, I guess. Like, since it's linear, they don't have time for you to go and like talk to everybody individually. They had to squeeze it in, like as the missions go on, and I thought that was really good. it's something that a lot of developers haven't really been toying with at the time, and I thought it was cool. Yeah,
that's legit.
And it was one of those games that, like, I guess made me realize, like, maybe I should keep an open mind to, like, more games. You know what I mean? Should we go into 9 as well?
No, let's
keep both
consecutive?
Yeah, we're gonna keep rotating
the
around.
10s, then the 9s. Okay.
Go ahead, Freeman. Lead us on your first romp across the sea.
So there's a lot of Japanese shit on my list.
Hell yeah!
No way.
So a lot of these games were on Nintendo DS. That was probably the console where I spent most of my time in high school and early college. And for me, number 10 was an eye-opener to games outside of the genre I was already familiar with. So number 10 is Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. For anyone who doesn't know it, it is a visual novel-style point-and-click adventure where you are Phoenix Wright, this rookie attorney, as you go through all these murder trials. And in regards to gameplay, there almost is none. It's like I said, a point-and-click adventure. And growing up, like as a kid, like sub 6 years old, I was big on the humongous entertainment games like Putt Putt, Freddy Fish, later on like the backyard sports games. So as a kid, like I enjoyed those. So when I grew up and suddenly there's point-and-click adventures about murder mysteries where the only way to progress is to like figure out which piece of evidence conflicts with this dude's testimony, it felt like it resonated with me on a level that I didn't understand. And for me, it was a style of game I hadn't played before. Up till at that point in my life, most of my stuff was just GameCube games. It was action games. It was like Sonic Adventure. It was Mario games. It was Mario Kart. Was a lot of it. So going into a game where it's like the gameplay is just reading and figuring out what's going on in the story, it kind of blew my mind. And it's kind of just like a gateway for any kind of visual novel game. But Phoenix Wright was easy to digest, and the writing and characters were spot on. If they weren't as enjoyable as I found them, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much, and that's a problem I had with the more recent ones. Is they have trouble writing multi-dimensional characters now, and every character is a giant character trope. But for the first 2 or 3 games, the characters were all really cool. Anyone you met, you knew like, oh, I shouldn't take them at face value. They've got like another side to them. I just gotta, bring it out of them in court. And it was honestly really enjoyable. The plot twists were all over the place. I've replayed the first 2 games like 3 times, and I was like going through the third one a second time, and then college happened. I don't think I've replayed a Phoenix Wright game since then. But the first 2 in that series had me so captivated that even when I knew what twists were happening, just watching it play out was enjoyable enough for me to just essentially rewatch a video game. And that's why it deserved a spot on here. I don't particularly think it's better than any of the other games I put on my list, but I thought it was an important game for me.
Yeah, that's been on my playlist for a while. Like that whole concept of like, I get to play a lawyer.
Shameless
that kind of sounds cool.
All the games are on the 3DS eShop now, so it's beyond easy to get a hold of them.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
They pulled a reverse Kingdom Hearts. They actually consolidated everything.
Yeah, look, I shit on Capcom, and this is the one thing they've done right, is just make them all available on 3DS.
We didn't actually talk about the whole Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer.
We didn't talk about it. We'll throw it on for next week, because I got a lot of things to say about it.
About how shit that...
Yeah, no, shut the hell up. No.
That's it. You're kicked off.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it. You're kicked off your own channel.
Okay.
It's just the anti-podcast
Welcome to the
now.
Anti-podcast. I'm your host, Friedman.
And it's just Tyler. No one else.
We're Friedman Tylerpedia with the Friedman Tylerpedia podcast.
Yep.
But that's my number 10. So, Tim.
Oh, am I allowed back on the show?
Yes.
Yeah, temporarily.
As our guest for the next 5 weeks.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Give us your top 10.
All right, so while you guys were talking again, I uncheated. I regained my honor. I decided to cut down. My top 10 list was full of cheating. I had multiple games in multiple places. I decided to cut it down and follow these guys and do 1 game per series / creator for this final entry, because I picked, out of all the BioWare games, Dragon Age Origins for my number 10 spot, because Jade Empire, I love that game. It's super cool to see BioWare do like real-time stuff, but the combat not super engaging, and while the setting is super duper cool, your options are kind of limited. Mass Effect. I played Mass Effect 1 a lot, unlike you, Tyler. That's not a strike against you. I did.
Yeah, that's fine.
And I feel like a lot of what I recognize that Mass Effect 2 is almost definitely the best game in the series. But I actually feel like I got more out of 2 because of 1. So it's harder for me to say that 2 is unequivocally the best because so much of 2 I got from 1, so I feel like I can't say 2's there without 1 being this rider. Dragon Age Origins, though, when I played this, it was like, hey, let's take the BioWare formula from Mass Effect, where everything feels kind of sterile, because you're in space, there's really no blood, there's nothing very mature, and let's just have people getting cut up, like these monsters from underground throwing bodies, eating people. Like, it felt a lot more, I don't want to say just mature, but it like dealt
the content.
The content is more mature, and you really felt like in Mass Effect 1 and 2 and 3, you kind of felt it, but in 1 and 2, you never felt like this massive impending threat. You know what I mean? Like, oh, the collectors are kidnapping some people. Oh, Saren's just kind of crazy. Like, there's no crazy threat. Dragon Age Origins, I remember how shocking it was for me the first time I played it, and I was just ditzing around, and all of a sudden, like, I never went back because I finished all the quests, but the first village you go to after the whole prologue area gets destroyed by the Darkspawn, and you just can't go back there. And every time you go to your map screen to travel somewhere, you see these splots of blood that represent the corruption of the Darkspawn getting closer and closer to the main part of the main civilization of Ferelden. And I just remember thinking that was wild. It like makes you feel like this impending threat when you see, okay, this Lothering, the town I visited first, is destroyed, and you can see the Darkspawn are marching towards the capital, Denerim. We need to get people on our side because they are coming right now.
Jeez.
And it just felt a lot. It also felt like there was a lot more options, being kind of more D&D based than Mass Effect, where you have guns and then you have some powers, but really how much the powers are certainly unique, but a lot of them are just kind of general combat-y powers. Dragon Age being able to use magic makes the world go round in almost everything that it can be in. And being a mage in Dragon Age, where you're like throwing out frost spells, raining down fireballs, summoning lightning storms, buffing your teammates, healing, turning into a bear if you want to. Like, I love systems with more important feeling abilities. Whereas in a lot of Mass Effect games, it's like, here's the other problem with Mass Effect. Now, this is mostly because I played on console, but I think because it was built for console, it's kind of more along this line. I don't know about you guys. When I played Mass Effect, I used like 2 powers.
Yeah, you kind of just find something that works for you and you stick with it.
Like,
yeah, that was my tried and true with 2. It's like, oh, yeah. What did I play? The soldier class? I was like, oh, I got hit. Bam, my shield's recharged.
See,
get fucked.
I played Vanguard, so it was take out shotgun, dash in, the guy's in the air, shoot him, dash in, shoot him, dash in, shoot him. And it was certainly fun. And on boss fights, you're like, oh, time to finally use the 5 other powers I put points into because I can't put any more points into the 1 or 2 powers that are on my hot button that I can use all the time. That was the thing. That was why 2 was so amazing, because I have 2 powers on hotkeys now instead on a controller instead of just 1. That's crazy. That's the thing, Tyler. You're lucky you didn't start with 1 when you only had the 1 power on your quick button. Yeah, in 2, it's like, I can use 2 powers. It's crazy. But in Dragon Age, because I played on PC, it's like, oh, here's my bar of like the closest I've ever gotten to using as many abilities in a single player game as I would in an MMO is Dragon Age Origins, because you have that quick bar on the bottom of just here's 10 spells. Or even for other classes, there's less abilities, but there's still things like your archers have crippling shot or stun shot where they can't move, and all this stuff. And your soldiers like have shield abilities or dual sword abilities or big sword abilities. Like
I need to play some of that. I have Dragon Age Inquisition.
So I will say with Dragon Age on this list, Dragon Age 2 does not deserve to be anywhere near this list. I'm lumping Mass Effect series and Jade Empire under this umbrella, kind of. But Dragon Age 2 is nowhere near this, and Inquisition I have not played yet. I expect to play it someday, but considering right now I'm playing Witcher for the channel, and then I'm going to play Shadow of War as my big dig deep games. And then by then, there's a new Metro coming out this year, which is supposed to be like twice as bigger than both previous games put together, and I loved those games.
Do they have a release date for it?
I don't think so. I think they just didn't I just saw a headline like today where the guy said, yeah, in the second game, our largest area was like 100 meters by 200. The largest one in Exodus so far is about 2 kilometers square. It sounds like it's a series of open zones that you progress through. You can't go back, but it sounds like it's a totally open area that you just go through different chunks. Like, or you go through not open world sized areas, you know what I mean, but like open regions kind of that you just progress through. So, but that sounds super exciting. Neither of those games are on that list, but I would actually mention almost the Metro games. Those were different and fun as hell. But, yeah, I definitely would say Inquisition might be here in 2 years after I play it, but for now it's Dragon Age Origins as my number 10.
All right.
And with that, Tyler, let's go to the lowest scale game on here, but something I think we can all agree is really good.
The lowest scale game, you're right. You know, I thought about though, right? Because like one of the things that like, I was like, well, what are some games that I come back to?
Yep,
a lot.
I can even agree with that for this.
Yeah, Hotline Miami 1.
Not 2, 1.
Not 2, 1.
The original.
I like 2. I really like 2 a lot, especially I never got a chance to mess around with the level editor, which is something I've always wanted to do.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, I didn't have I had a decent computer, but what did I do? Oh yeah, because I was cheap and I bought Hotline Miami 2 for the PS4 because it was like, I think, because it was like on initial sale, it was like, oh, you can get it for $15 instead of $20.
Sold.
Yeah, sold. And like, was it? I might get it again just for that level editor because it goes on sale for like $7.
It's one of those games that from now to the end of time, every sale is going to have it.
Yeah, exactly. But I really like the first one a lot because just the variety. Like, I mean, I know we were talking about the mask, like the mask can do like whatever, but that's what I liked about it. Like, it's like I can go back and like I can try different masks. Like, there's like 100 of them, and it's like, oh, I'm feeling like this today. I'm feeling Tony today, or I'm feeling Don Juan today. Just gonna kick fucking doors in. And it's just fast paced. It gets my heart going all the time. It's like one of those games. It's another game that I really wasn't expecting that I would enjoy. And this was before I got really into the whole retro 80s kind of like aesthetic. Actually, if anything, this kind of kickstarted my whole thing into like the whole genre. Like just the fast paced music. Like the very gritty, you know, brutal fights, like fast-paced fights that go into everything. And then the slow walk back to your DeLorean.
Yeah.
It's like, it's pretty,
past
it's
all
weird.
All the bodies, all the blood.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't think about it, right? It's almost like you're in it's like you're in actual combat, right? Like you go in, you see a target, or, you know, you get into whatever shit you need to get into. You keep going until it doesn't stop, and then it finally stops, and you're like, "All right, I can breathe." and you're like, holy shit, I did this. This is crazy.
Do you think we would have seen more Hotline Miami ripoffs if 2 had been more successful? Because we never really saw a lot of ripoff Hotline Miamis.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
But like,
what I
a
have
lot of people picked up the aesthetic, but no one really just did Hotline.
No, you've seen a lot more, even though you haven't seen more like top down, like whatever. There's another game that came out that's similar. It's called Heat Signature.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like think of Mass Effect and Hotline Miami had a kid.
That's wild.
Yeah, actually it's on sale right now for $10. I was gonna buy it.
Oh, you haven't played it yet?
I haven't played it yet. I've watched a lot of videos on it because I've been considering on buying it. Well, I'm trying to do this thing now though, where I don't buy any new games until I've beaten the one that I am playing, which I already fucked up, and I bought Okami.
You're already dead.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh my wamo.
And it's fucked up because I told Leslie, I was like, "Yo, I got Okami." She's like, "We need to play it." I'm like, I'm trying to play with. She's like, "No, we need to play it." Yeah, she beat Okami. It's like her favorite video
fuck
game.
her, Tyler. I got to you with Witcher way before fucking Okami.
No, we're just playing it together. Like it's when I go to her house. It's fine.
Tyler,
it's
okay. You already said you don't have time for video games.
You're right. Yo, Okami.
It's not a video game. It's an experience.
Shut the fuck up.
Yo, it's different. I only got to play it for an hour so far. It's not what I expected.
It's an aesthetic game.
It is. It's pretty cool
like
too.
Jokes aside, it's an aesthetic game.
Yeah. But I can get to Okami. That could end up as my favorite game later on. So far, I'm like, it probably isn't, but I'm still enjoying it. But I want to play The Witcher. Like when I have time at my house.
I mean, we talked about my stats for that earlier.
Yes. Yeah, the problem is like between 2 D&D games,
that's fair,
and other stuff, it sucks, man.
I mean, by fair, by fair, I mean you should be playing Witcher because you read the books as much as I did. Actually, no, you never finished, did you?
No, I haven't. Yeah, because I'm also trying to do that.
Yeah, you got me. You got me into the Witcher books, and now I'm rereading them, and I'm already on book 4 of my reread. Yeah,
it's been rough going for Tyler playing video games lately. Like I haven't even played PUBG. Like it's been rough. Like I've gotten into the realm. It's like it's Tyler's turn.
It's fine, dude. You gotta make sure you got time for finished games before you start playing some unfinished games.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh.
No. I will say though, Tyler, Hotline won't make my list, but that is one of the only games that I've ever multiple times, and for better or worse, not really for worse actually, just for better, reinstalled, played for 2 hours, basically gotten fully into the game, said, okay, I had my fill, and uninstalled the game, and felt like I could do it again. Just a few weeks ago, I reinstalled the game right before my hard drive died. My graphics card, I took it out. That game still ran. I was like, oh, does this still run? And I found myself just testing it, and all of a sudden I'm like, skip dialogue, kill guys, skip dialogue, kill guys, and just blew through almost half the game at least. Like in just an hour, just sitting here having fun.
Yeah, and that's what it's meant to be. Like it, and that's why I like it. It is just a very pick up, play it real fast, and then it's like, all right, I can put it down. But I have found myself recently, since I've gotten it, playing it at least once a year.
Yeah, it seems reasonable.
Like just out of the blue, I'm like, I want to play Hotline Miami, and I'll just blow through it in like.
I wish there was a way to track that on Steam, because I feel like I might have actually booted it up once a year since I bought it.
What, like the play frequency?
Yeah, I wish I could see that.
Yeah,
I do that like every 3 months with like audio surf. It's just one of those things where I'm like, oh, I remember having fun with this. Let me pop in real quick.
Right.
And then
actually, my time though isn't reflected correctly on Steam.
Really?
Yeah, like it says I have like 7 hours. That's a fucking lie. I have like way more hours on it. Like it says
Tyler, come on, mine says 14. I'm beating you, and it's your number 9.
I have played. No, trust me, I have played it a lot more. I played it like in Arizona. There was a lot of offline play.
Yep.
when I went to work or when I went to school.
Gotcha.
Yeah, or XCOM. It's great. It says for XCOM Enemy Unknown. It says I have 5 minutes playing. I can guarantee you, I have played that game. I don't care who listens. I played this game for about 5 hours a day for 2 weeks.
Oh man.
Yes.
It's one of those games.
I only have 12 hours.
I fiended this game so hard.
Shit.
It was bad. It only says I have 5 minutes though. Don't know why.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's because of the offline. Like I didn't count my offline at the time for some reason. But you'll see I'll have all the freaking achievements for it.
Yeah.
Oh, but how did I get it all in 5 minutes, you ask?
What a hacker.
Well, I'm a hacker, man. Bringing it back to Kung Fury.
Oh my god. Freeman, do your number 9, please.
Yeah, number 9.
All right, let's program ourselves back in time for this one.
Oh my god.
So once again, much like number 10, number 9 was during my I only play DS games era. And I thought this one in particular was really cool. Right when the DS came out, a lot of people couldn't figure out how to make the 2-screen approach work. Usually you had one screen that actually mattered, and the other one was like, this is your menu, or here's extra shit you don't need to know. And probably before this game came out, I'm going to keep it mystery until I reveal it. The only game I'd seen that had really been experimental with the DS was this game called Hotel Dusk Room 215. And like Phoenix Wright, it was one of those like you're reading games. And what it did is it turned the DS on its side, and it was your character's always talking to someone, and that someone was on the touchscreen where you interacted, but your character's always on the left giving commentary and shit. And that was cool. It played like you were playing a book. But my number 9, which is The World Ends With You, was the first game that really took advantage of both screens. It was, for all intents and purposes, just you're in Tokyo, it's a JRPG. This is Persona 5 on Nintendo DS, for all intents and purposes. But what made it magical, for me at least, was the way they kind of threw you into the story. You wake up in the middle of town, you don't know anything about your character, but your character doesn't know anything about himself either. And you just start fighting these things. And you have this writing on your hand that says you have an hour. And they don't explain what that means. You have 1 hour.
Huh.
So your character is rushing to figure out what this even means until finally you run into this person who's like, oh yeah, I'm the one who brought you here. By the way, if you want to survive, kill the person who's been helping you this whole time. And this person's like the only character you've met. She's really nice. And your character turns without your input and says, fine, I'll do it. And he goes to kill the person who's been helping you. And like, as I was like 14 when I played this.
God damn,
this blew my fucking mind. I'm like, holy shit, what's he about to do? Game blacks out. You wake up the next day and you start finding out that you have 7 days to survive this game or you will die. And you're given these challenges with time limits. But the reason I love this game so much is when you're in combat, you always have a partner. On the bottom screen, control with the stylus, you are moving your character around, and all of your attacks are triggered by gestures. So you can equip. There's like, it felt like Pokemon. There were 252 pins in this game. Some of them evolved from others, and you got experience after battle for your pins. And by the end of the game, you'd equip 6, and each had a gesture for it. If you swiped on your character, he would do a slashing attack. If you pressed up further away, he would do like an ice pillar. If you did a Z motion in front of him, he would do like this fire blast. There were ones where you just clicked on the pins and activated effects, and there was this huge depth to the combat system. But on top of that, you were doing this all on the touchscreen. In the meantime, with your left hand, you were controlling the D-pad, where on the top screen, your character is trying to do these combos in match with this other system. And the more combos you did, the more your meter would go up, and then you'd be able to do a special move with both characters. But both characters were essentially fighting different fights at the same time, and you had to manage your attention between both of them.
Wow. A
lot of people hated this combat system, but this is the first time I ever felt like, wow, this DS game could not have been done on Game Boy Advance with better graphics.
That's good.
And it was my first serious RPG. I played this one before I did like any of the Final Fantasies or even Kingdom Hearts. This is the first time I got into a story where it's like characters are going to die and people are just going to like betray each other. There's mystery. You don't know why characters are doing things. Characters who are not important now, turns out they're the most important fucking characters in the last 5 minutes of the game. Like, this blew my mind when I was a teenager. And that was why when they had that Nintendo Direct the other week, and I completely brushed over all the news to talk about the fact that it was getting re-released on Switch, it's because I was genuinely most excited for this game out of anything so that was like, when you mentioned that I didn't bring up Dark Souls, it's because I didn't care. I just want to play The World Ends With You in HD. But yeah, World's View is my number 9. It's kind of hard to find on DS if anyone's curious about playing it, but they had an iOS port. Okay, they're revamping that for Nintendo Switch, so if you're interested, that's going to be available real soon. Casual plug for that game.
Cool.
I keep listing all these games that you guys probably haven't played. It's going to be a lot of one-sidedness for me on this list.
No, seriously.
No, I want to play it.
Better.
No, I like that because it gives me just like Phoenix Wright, like you bring it up and I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to play that. World Ends With You, I don't know anything about it, but I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting enough for me to at least give it a shot, especially if you say it's pretty good.
The one thing that got me was like, I bought it because like this has a very interesting name, and my other buddy who was playing it, he could not remember the name of the game, and he kept calling it Everybody's Dead But You. And he kept referring to it as that. I'm like, why the fuck do you... Like, I kept forgetting which game he was talking about. That's not a spoiler, by the way. He just kept misnaming it when he bought the game.
Sweet.
But yeah, that's my 9 and 10 for this week.
No, those are good. I like having different things because it means we're not all playing the same things and we all have games that people might want to hear about. Yeah,
we're not in some kind of video game echo chamber. We got differing opinions.
Side note about gaming. Apparently there's now a report that Spyro is going to get a remaster this year, so Leslie's going to...
I saw...
Yeah, no, Leslie's already popping off to me about it.
Oh, wow.
She hits me with the, you have a PS4, right? And I'm like, I hooked it up at your house
I was there when we did that months ago.
Yeah, oh yeah, you were there when we were playing Resident Evil 7.
Yeah, dude. Got to play that game. That's another fucking
Wait, was this during the holidays before I came over?
No, this was way months ago.
Or way back.
This was a while. Yeah, this was a while ago. Actually,
me and Leslie were hanging out, and Tyler's like, "Oh, hey." Leslie's like, "Oh, me and Tyler were gonna play Resident Evil," and I'm like, "Okay, I'll play Resident Evil." So the three of us just played Resident Evil 7 for a while at Leslie's house. That was it. That was the whole story. Yeah. It was just a random one day. Anyway, my number 9, so that we can go home and go to bed because we're all home and we should just go to bed. So mine is. For anyone who watched my birthday special from 2 years ago, I would actually recommend going back and watching it, my 25th birthday special. I put a lot of thought into those 20 games. But this is one of the ones that has lots of personal significance on top of being a game I really love playing. Civilization 4 was, until near the end of the life cycle of Civilization 5, pretty widely regarded as the best Civilization game as far as I know. Freeman, did you play Civilization at all?
I played Civ 2 a bit.
Wow.
But I wasn't like the most into it.
No, that's fine.
No, my brother's really into this, and he loved Civ 4 when it came out. Like, that was it.
For some reason, I feel like I talked to someone about this who wasn't... Freeman, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. This is one of the games that I played months of time with Alvin and Ed.
Oh, okay.
This is one of the games we went over to Ed's house when we first all had laptops, or when Ed had 3 computers in his house, and we would all yell at each other from different rooms in Ed's house.
We did talk about this a little bit when I brought up playing StarCraft. My buddies doing literally the same thing.
Yeah. This is from back in the LAN days where you just have a few computers in a house and you all just boot up and yell at each other and you play the game. And man, Civ 4 is a lot of fun to play. But I've almost never played it single player. It's just such a blast to play when you know other people in the game. The AI does very, I don't want to say predictable, but they have their own kind of path to things. You can always tell when they're going to go to war because they start stacking up units and everything like that. But playing with my 2 buddies, it was so much more to be able to team. Okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. We're all going to support each other to beat the AI. And over and over and over again, it didn't matter. It was so much fun, dealing with the unique layout of resources. Oh, guys, I spawned in the jungle. I'm fucked for a while. Please help. Guys, I spawned in the Arctic, but I have a decent start. Do you guys want to keep trying? Should we restart? Let's all figure out where each other are so we can militarily aid each other. Okay, Alvin, you always attack people, so me and Ed will support you with money. It was just so much fun. Every game felt like building a nation. And it was so cool to go from literally a settler and a warrior to like having a bunch of cities cranking out jet planes and bombers and stuff like that. Like, I always took the build a few incredibly valuable cities route where I would carefully think about where every single city went, whereas the AI just crap out cities everywhere. And then Alvin was kind of in that camp and Ed was kind of in the middle, but Ed would always build the same wonder initially each time. So we always planned around getting the tech to trade tech with each other really early. So then we would supplement each other, and then the AI would rubber band to catch up with us because it was bullshit. Oh man, it was such a blast. And like the tech trees in Civ 4 were so deep and expansive. You could go really culture heavy. You could focus on production. You could focus on health for your people so you can grow your population count faster. And while I didn't play nearly as much, Civ 3 was a lot more limited in the fact that it took away a population for every worker or settler, whereas in Civ 4, it just stops growth of the city to do it. It does the same thing, but it feels like you're making a lot more progress in Civ 4, and it feels like it's in both a more immediate effect, but also less punishing, if that makes any sense. I know I'm just speaking gibberish because you guys have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's okay.
The only thing I know about Civ, I think, in the new Civ, one of my professors from UAT is quoted in there.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
It also doesn't hurt that Leonard Nimoy did all the narration for the original game. For Civ 4, sorry.
Rest in peace.
The stuff from the Beyond the Sword expansion pack, he did not do, but all the original technology, when you research it, Leonard Nimoy would pop in and say something. But yeah, this game is just almost all nostalgia for me, but it's still a blast to play. I would even play it today if I had time. It's one of those games, it's one of those strategy games, Freeman, you did StarCraft LAN, so you know what I'm talking about, where all of a sudden it's 3 in the morning, and you're like, I know in StarCraft the matches are a lot quicker, so it doesn't quite work, but in Civ...
Not with me and my buddies, those drag on for fucking eternity.
But with Civ especially, Civ is known as the just one more turn game.
Yeah, it goes forever.
Alvin, and Ed, guys, it's 1 in the morning. We all have class tomorrow. We have to go to bed. Okay, let's just finish this turn. We're all done. We might as well just go to the next turn. Let's just start our next turn.
Start the next turn.
Okay, let's just go to the next turn. Oh, but we can't start this war, guys. Okay, we'll stop for now. It's 3 in the morning, and tomorrow we'll load back up and we'll go to war. It's okay. I just remember Val can actually attest. The last time we all played the game together was in my bedroom back when I was living in New Jersey. Alvin and his girlfriend were in town for like 48 hours, and Ed was in town too. That was back when he was living in Newark. And they both came over, and Val and Alvin's girlfriend just sat in the room for 2.5 hours watching the three of us, me on my computer and them on laptops with folding tables, play this fucking game and just talk to each other about it. And I felt so bad, but Val and Alvin's girlfriend were both like, no, it's okay. It was cute watching you guys be giant nerds. But that's one of those just such an important memory and feeling for me games that even though it's a great game on its own, for me it just means so much more. So I feel like while it doesn't get to super fly up the list for it, it definitely needs to be on the list for me. So yeah, Civ 4, Beyond the Sword, I guess, if you want to clarify, because it's one of those weird games where you can buy the expansion pack, but the expansion pack actually came with everything. If you buy on Steam Civilization 4 Beyond the Sword and you install Beyond the Sword, the full game works. It's not like you have to download Civ 4. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird, but whatever. It works.
Where's shit?
But yeah, so there we go. Those are our honorable mentions, number 10 and number 9 from each of our lists. The plan was originally to do 2 games a week. We'll see how that goes. If there's even less, like, there shouldn't be any major Magic news next week. I mean, we talked about the ban and restricted for 10 minutes, 15
I'm calling
minutes.
it the surprise unban of Stoneforge Mystic next week.
I'm sure
you heard it here
Place
first.
your bets.
There could easily be a lot of news, but I think depending on how timing and if we could start earlier, because this was a little late. Not too late, but we'll see how it goes. Maybe there will be a week where we do 3 games, maybe just 2 games every week. We'll see. As long as we get good discussion about each game, that's what's important.
Yeah.
But yeah, so why don't we just close it up? Tyler, what are you doing?
I'm gonna try and play The Witcher. But I got a lot of overtime to do.
What, at work?
Yeah, at work.
Oh.
Which isn't gonna include shredding 2,000 CDs.
Yeah.
Thank God. I dodged a bullet.
Actually, I'm gonna jump in. I know I said, but I actually realized I should probably jump in because
you son of a bitch.
Well, something me and Val are doing affects everybody. So, this weekend is President's Day weekend, and Val and I are coming home to New Jersey for a few days.
No, I was gonna mention that.
I know, but since we're doing
he wants to announce it himself.
I want to announce it because I'm the one who has to drive 7 hours and get home at 2 in the morning. So I'm gonna take the credit for this.
Look at you!
Val and I are coming back to New Jersey for the long President's Day weekend. We're gonna leave Friday and get in at 2 in the morning, like I said, and the 3 of us, Leslie, Val, and Luigi, are going to spend approximately all of Saturday, except for stupid Luigi with his taxes work, hanging out.
I might not be able to get there either until like 12.
In the wait, midnight or noon?
Not noon.
Who the fuck cares? Me and
Val
are gonna be asleep.
Fair, because
you and Luigi both
go to work.
When have we, Tyler? We've always talked about doing all day. When do we ever actually meet up for those before noon?
We've got.
The problem is a lot of us aren't awake before noon on weekends because the sack of shits who sleep in.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but Luigi.
No, I'm the sack of shit who sleeps in.
Oh my god. Anyway, we're gonna be hanging out playing Magic. I have the unstable box right on my desk. That's coming back so we can draft the other half, and maybe Friedman will get some of the lands this time.
Just after those angel tokens.
Oh, dude, I'll take as many as I can open. Play that, play some Commander, do some D&D in person, do some board games. We got lots of shit we're gonna do. Probably hang out most of the day on Sunday when we can.
Wait. We haven't watched Harmon Quest yet.
We haven't. We should at least start it finally. That's true.
I'm dying to watch that.
I don't think we can get through all of it, but we can definitely start season 2.
We can at least watch like 2 or 3 episodes of season 2.
Tyler, I hear you might have found a mysteriously located copy of Disaster Artist.
Oh yeah.
Is it any good or is it crap?
It's not.
It's not good. Crap or it's not. All right.
It's not good at all. In fact, it's like I wouldn't even buy it off the streets of Newark.
Guys, it's fine. We're only 40 days away from the Blu-ray release.
Are we really?
It's March something.
Oh, okay. Well, then probably next time we see you guys.
Maybe.
I ain't waiting. I'm going to watch this shitty copy.
Tyler, watch it without us, because as much as we all should watch it together, fuck watching camera footage.
I've been waiting for this movie for so long.
Tyler, I agree. I'm the one who broached the idea of us all watching it together, as much as I fucked up about it being in theaters, but still.
No, that wasn't your fault.
Anyway.
Fuck James Franco.
Oh my god.
Hold on, wait a second. It's all right. Damn, we're 1 week off. February 20th. It's going to be on Amazon Video and iTunes.
Son of a
digital HD.
Someone leak it in the next week.
Someone leak it. Whoever's
Can't we just do like a synchronized group watch or something?
See, that's not as fun. We'll wait. We'll wait. It suck. No, Freeman. It's incentive for you guys to finally make your fucking trip out here. Luigi doesn't care about the movie. The 3 of you just take a trip out here for a weekend.
It doesn't matter. Tyler's watching on his own anyway.
I'm watching it on my own.
It doesn't matter. He'll watch it again probably.
I'll watch it again.
Okay. Anyway.
Bold statement.
For the rest of my week, just because
that was hijacked.
I know. I apologize.
Cheating again, Tim.
Do you want to bounce back and forth again?
No. You go.
So might as well continue, huh? Yeah.
You might as well. Yeah.
What else? Tomorrow, Val and I are taking a trip up to Cleveland for Valentine's Day. We got tickets to something called River Dance. It's like a dancing event thing.
How have you not heard of River Dance?
I feel like I've heard the name before, but I don't know.
God damn.
Has Val made any puns incorporating her name into Valentine's Day yet, or is that just...
I'm pretty sure she had enough of them made at her for her whole life that she never wants to. And I don't do it to her because honestly, I'm sure that it would bother her in a second. So
that means I got to now.
Go ahead. You can do
right.
it. Look, I have to live with it, so I can't do it.
You're absolutely right. Darian's gonna be getting a lot of
Jesus
Valentine's Day puns.
That sounds amazing. I also have a secret surprise planned for tomorrow, but I can't talk about it because she's in the next room. But that's our Valentine's Day. Other than that, and the trip home, not much else going on. My buddy's last day at work, the guy I talk about Star Wars with and almost got to play KOTOR, his last day is Thursday, unfortunately. So, yeah. And I'm getting transferred to a new team in 2 weeks, which is cool.
Oh, nice.
I think I told you guys that, right? Didn't I?
You did bring it up, yeah.
Yeah.
I still haven't gotten to train yet, which sucks, but I've been having technical issues with their VPN and getting the software and everything, so whatever. Playing Halo Wars. I started that Let's Play about a week and a half ago, and that game's pretty decent. It's not amazing, but it's a fun little strategy game. You can definitely see how it's a console port. I've noticed, I said it in the videos, but I noticed that clicking and dragging feels weird. Like clicking and dragging a box like in a strategy game. It feels really strange for some reason.
Interesting.
It's obviously very simple. There's not a lot of options in terms of what units and everything. I kind of just go with the build all Scorpions or build all... Tyler, what are the little winged things that you can set on the side of from Halo 3 called?
The wing things, not ghosts.
No, the flyers.
Wraiths?
No. The human flying thing with the little
pelicans?
Jets. No. The little ones that you fly for that one mission in Halo 3.
Oh, the Hornets.
Thank you, the Hornets. God, that was a lot of steps to get.
Yeah, I was like, I know everything. I'll get to them eventually.
Side things. You mean ghosts? No. Wraith? No. A human, it flies. Pelican? No.
the pelican.
But yeah, I just mass Hornets or mass Scorpions, and that's how I win. Or Warthogs sometimes. But it's fine. It's a fun game. I actually ran a poll on Twitter yesterday asking people if they thought I should go straight into 2 or focus on a different game, because obviously once Witcher 3 is done, I'm going to swap to Shadow of War immediately, if my graphics card works for it this time. But I actually put a poll on Twitter, and it sounds pretty pathetic, but I actually got 19 people who voted now over the course of the last 24 hours, which is honestly surprising considering how, like, Cypher's the only person who replies to me on Twitter. Cypher,
one of those people who voted was not me.
So one of them
unfortunately. No, it wasn't.
I think you're trying to do a sarcastic way of...
No, I forget Twitter.
One of them wasn't me. The 19 other were.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But overwhelmingly... it looks like everyone except 2 people voted for Halo Wars 2, and one person said you're a goober, which I gave as an option, and find something else, and both those had 1 vote. So I looks like I'm just gonna have to finally play Halo Wars 2, which I have not played before. I already recorded 1 session of Halo Wars. I might just try to pop out another one, just because why not, before we go home for the weekend. Although I'm not really sure when I'd get to record that. I don't know. But that's that and Witcher. It's so funny, actually. I finally realized I have uploaded up to episode... Let me tell you guys in a second, just because it's funny to me. I have episode 39 uploaded. I have only released 36. 39 is going to release on Friday. It's when 39 releases. As far as episodes of Witcher that I have edited and rendered out and is sitting on my hard drive, I am up to 54.
Oh, man.
Content for days.
I have played so much Witcher, and I am so far ahead. I almost forgot what I had released. I look at what is coming out now, and I'm like, holy shit, this is so long ago that I played this bit of the game. But spoilers, episode 52 52 or 53. I finally beat the main story of the game, so I'm on the downward spiral. I started playing the first expansion, barely got into it, and I still need to do the whole second one. I'm in Hearts of Stone. This game's going to be somewhere in my top 10. You guys will just have to see how many weeks it takes, but I fucking love Witcher 3. This game is so much fun. Tyler, you mentioned earlier, I don't want to steal the thunder from when I talk about it in the top 10, but you mentioned the whole you never get to have the suicide mission again.
Yeah.
I never get to take Geralt through the main story of The Witcher again.
Yeah,
and
that feel.
So I got to tell you, the game ends at the end of the base game, and they designed it that you play both expansion packs afterward because apparently there's references to things you've done. But it feels so weird to have a conclusion to Geralt's story and then still be playing the game. I feel like I should never touch this game until I dedicate another 100 hours to a playthrough again or something. Like, it feels... That moment after I put the controller down, I was like, wow, I just finished that game. And I feel super invested in this story right now. I'm super sad to see this over. And then to be like, oh, time to take Geralt and go run off and do another adventure on the side. It's like, I almost feel like I should have over-leveled and finished those and kind of sequence break the game just so I could have let it end there.
That's how I felt about Final Fantasy 15, not gonna lie.
But yeah, Witcher and Halo Wars. Tyler mentioned I started playing Unreal 2 just for funsies. It's a fun game to just boot up for 20 minutes and blow through a level I've played 4 times in my life before. Downloaded Shadow of War, cleaned up my Steam library, which I posted about on Twitter the other night. Actually, you know what's really funny? I tweeted out this picture. So I have all the Star Wars games on Steam, almost all of them, and I have them in a category on Steam, Star Wars. And under that category, I was cleaning out Steam and I noticed one of these things looks really weird. All of them say Star Wars in capital letters, TM, and then the name of the game. Except Star Wars Battlefront 2 now says Star Wars in lowercase, Battlefront 2 Classic 2005. Looks totally weird. It's just a funny thing I noticed, and it's like, I guess since the new one came out, they had to update the Steam listing.
Yeah, man. Like, fuck, it's gotta be different.
But yeah, that's my pretty busy week coming up. So anyway, Tyler, why don't you take it back and finish off what you were doing?
No, let's go to the left. Freeman,
Tyler,
what are you doing this week?
Honestly, I don't have a lot going on. I'm pretty busy throughout the week with the usual stuff. D&D. I got something with Guild Wars on Wednesday. I have no clue what's happening Friday.
Oh yeah, D&D might be delayed.
Okay.
But delayed later than it normally is.
So that, like I said, is the last day of my coworker, and we're having his going away party at Buffalo Wild Wings. I don't know when it is or how long we'll even have to stay. So we might start a little late. That's all. We'll talk about it more later, like tomorrow. Yeah.
So other than that, my weekday doesn't have anything special. Normally, all the shit I say I'm going to do happens on weekends, but I am going to be preoccupied with the squad reunion this weekend.
It's okay. You can play Commander.
And of course, obviously looking forward to watching Darling in the Franxx this weekend.
Damn, all right.
I mean, really, who wouldn't be excited to watch Darling in the Franxx this week?
That's not exciting.
Hell yeah, but that's my week in a nutshell. Short and simple.
Sweet. Yeah. Tyler, you
I got off? Yeah, whoa, that's gay.
Oh my fucking god.
Gay. No, I got nothing. Tomorrow I'm working a lot. Thursday, looking at a house with Leslie.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I don't know. Really, I got nothing. I got nothing except you guys coming over.
And all this fit about me just stealing the thunder, and I just...
Yeah, man. I know, because I ain't got shit except work.
So, here's a PSA to take us out. According to Google, there is... Dead Space 1 is available for free on Origin, if you have an Origin account. That's fucking cool.
Fuck Origin. many games they've tried to get me
Tyler,
with Origin.
Tyler, I don't disagree, but it's Dead Space 1. It's a great game. Not in my top 10. People who've watched me enough probably can guess what might be in the top 10 instead. But
Origin.
Dead Space 1 is a really, really good game.
You hear me, EA? I don't like you.
Tyler, I totally agree with you. Calm down.
No.
Stop it.
No.
All right, with that solid no.
I'm being difficult. Just let me be difficult.
Anyway. For next week, we'll be back with the TNT podcast. We'll cover more of our top games. I fully expect us to keep this topic going for a while.
There's no way we're going to stop in the middle unless some crazy nonsense happens. And they cancel standards, so Tim and I have to do an emergency banning of the TNT podcast for a Magic special.
Oh, I mean...
Barring that, we're probably going to be back with 8 through 7 next week.
8, 7, maybe 6, depending on how long.
Maybe 6, depending on this pacing.
Yeah, but Friedman, why would you? That would just be a Magic spin-off episode. Why would it?
No, if they ban standard, I'm
so
just
I
putting
can
Tyler
go
straight to sleep, and we're just going to talk about it.
So I can.
It's a joke. It's a joke, Tim.
Why would they ban
joke.
standard?
They're not doing it. It's a joke. We'll
Friedman,
be back next week.
I can't get invested in your story because it's full of holes.
The TNT podcast. Good night.
Yeah, that's fine. That's the ending.
It's gonna be like, wait, what?
That's the ending.
Yeah, it'll just close on that.
That's beautiful. I love it.